Ever wonder why some of the most iconic rock songs vanished from live shows forever? Why did certain anthems, despite topping charts or defining entire eras, get locked away in the studio vaults, never to echo through a stadium again? From creative feuds to vocal strain to just plain weird stories, the reasons might surprise you. Stick around, because these 10 legendary rock songs were played live, and then never again. Number 1, Led Zeppelin. Hats off to Roy Harper.
Don't like so much when I send you the bill.
This acoustic slide guitar driven oddity from Led Zeppelin 3 is one of the band's most experimental cuts, with Robert Plant's distorted vocals layered over Jimmy Page's manic bottleneck guitar work. It sounds like a psychedelic transmission from another world, but hats off to Roy Harper has never been performed live, not even once. Why? Well, rumor has it the band thought it was simply too strange to replicate in a concert setting. The song was a tribute to their friend and folk rock hero Roy Harper, but its eerie sound collage and off-kilter production made it a studio-only gem. Zeppelin concerts were all about bombast and bluesy energy. This track was just too abstract to fit, a true buried treasure in their catalog, and fans still beg for even a single performance that never came. Number 2, Pink Floyd, Fearless. Released on metal in 1971, Fearless is one of Floyd's most emotionally resonant tracks. Built around a laid-back, jangly guitar riff, the song slowly builds into a triumphant chant of "You'll never walk alone." A surprise twist that still gives goosebumps. But here's the kicker. Despite its beauty and fan adoration, Fearless never found a spot in their live rotation. Roger Waters once hinted that the band didn't think it would translate well to stage energy, especially with its subtle mood and studio-layered arrangement. Ironically, countless cover bands have pulled it off over the years, so go figure. Even David Gilmour, who plays nearly everything else from that era, has kept Fearless tucked away. It's a song that connects deeply, but only from your speakers, not the stage. Number 3, The Beatles, Tomorrow Never Knows. Imagine this. 1966, and the Beatles drop a song that sounds like it time traveled from the future. Tomorrow Never Knows, off Revolver, was pure psychedelic genius. Tape loops, sitar-like guitars, Ringo's hypnotic drumming, and John Lennon channeling the Tibetan Book of the Dead through a Leslie speaker. But guess what? It was never performed live by the Fab Four. Not once. The truth is, they didn't even try. Lennon straight up said it was impossible to recreate on stage, especially with the primitive tech of the time, and they quit touring later that year anyway. Modern bands have covered it with ease, but the Beatles, the pioneers themselves, left this mind-bending masterpiece permanently in the studio shadows. Number 4, Nirvana, I Hate Myself and Want to Die. Dark, brutal, and grunge to the bone. This track was pure Cobain. Originally intended for In Utero, I Hate Myself and Want to Die was eventually shelved and later appeared on the Beavis and Butthead Experience compilation. Despite its raw power and brutal honesty, Nirvana never once performed it live. Why? Some say the band was uncomfortable with the lyrics' blunt darkness, especially as Cobain's mental state grew more fragile. It became tragically ironic after his death, which is likely why the surviving members have kept it sealed. Dave Grohl has even said in interviews that they never really intended for it to be anything more than a sonic joke, albeit a disturbingly real one. It's the Nirvana song that hits hardest but never hit a stage. Number 5, Guns N' Roses, My World. Let's talk about My World. the unexpected electronic-influenced closer from Use Your Illusion 2. You probably remember the snarling guitars and epic ballads from those albums, but this song, it was a total curveball. Just 1 minute and 24 seconds of industrial chaos with Axl Rose diving into spoken word madness. So why didn't it make it to the stage? Well, it's weird. So weird, in fact, that even Slash was reportedly pissed that it made the final cut. Axl recorded it almost solo during a spontaneous studio session, and it was a shock to the rest of the band when it showed up on the album. It's never been played live and probably never will, considering most fans and the band pretend it doesn't exist. A forgotten fever dream in the GNR universe. Number 6, Queen, The Night Comes Down. From their 1973 debut album, The Night Comes Down is a trippy, melancholy cut that feels more like early Pink Floyd than classic Queen. Written by Brian May, it was recorded in 1971, re-recorded, and then, get this, they ended up using the original version on the album. It's haunting and beautiful, but Queen never performed it live, not once. And here's why. The song didn't reflect the theatrical glam rock powerhouse image they soon built with hits like Killer Queen or Bohemian Rhapsody. Queen shows became grand spectacles, and this slow burn track just didn't fit that visual or sonic vibe. Still, die-hard fans mourn its absence, calling it one of Queen's most underappreciated deep cuts. You'll find no footage, no bootlegs, just the album and your imagination. Number 7, Metallica, Escape. Here's a strange one. Escape from 1984's Ride the Lightning has a killer riff and a headbanging chorus, but Metallica seemed to hate it from day one. In fact, they didn't play it live until 2012, and only once. That's right, once in their entire career. Why? Lars Ulrich admitted they felt forced to write it to make the label happy, and it never resonated with the band creatively. James Hetfield even called it a throwaway. Fans, on the other hand, love its rawness and punky energy. When they finally played it at the Orion Festival, the crowd went wild, but the band, they haven't touched it since. It's the black sheep of Ride the Lightning, loved by fans, loathed by its creators. Number 8, The Rolling Stones, Winter.
And it's sure been cold, cold.
Imagine the Rolling Stones ditching the swagger for a moment and embracing soft, aching beauty. That's Winter, a hidden gem from their 1973 album Goat's Head Soup. With lush strings, melancholy lyrics, and Mick Jagger's most heartfelt vocal, it paints a vivid picture of cold streets and longing hearts. But the Stones never played it live, ever. The reason? It's part of that brief experimental window when the band was dabbling in more emotional orchestral rock, and it didn't last long. Plus, guitarist Mick Taylor, who co-wrote the song, left the band not long after. Jagger has hinted in interviews that it just didn't feel like a Stones song to perform on stage. Still, its beauty endures, frozen in studio perfection. Number 9, AC/DC, Love Song.
I can tell by the things you say. I can tell that you.
Yes, AC/DC has a love song. No, it's not what you think. This forgotten track from their debut album High Voltage is more pop ballad than pub rock. It features flowery lyrics and a surprisingly soft touch from Bon Scott. And here's the deal, AC/DC played it live just once, hated how it felt, and then buried it forever. Angus Young later joked that they were still apologizing for it. It's an oddball in their catalog, so different you'd barely recognize them, but it shows a moment when the band briefly toyed with mainstream sounds before doubling down on their signature hard rock grit. A rare misstep, maybe, but it's part of the legacy, and now it's a collector's oddity never to return. Number 10, The Who, Luby, Come Back Home.
I said I left my wife and child to be come back home. And Lord, my conscience
We end with a true rarity. Luby, Come Back Home wasn't even on a studio album. It appeared only on BBC Sessions, and for many fans, it's a total mystery. A wild, energetic cover of an obscure R&B song, it was performed live only a handful of times in the mid-60s, then vanished. Pete Townshend once admitted it was fun, but didn't feel like ours, and The Who quickly moved on to original material. But this track shows their early raw power and connection to the mod scene. It's gritty, it's loud, and it absolutely cooks. But for reasons lost to time, it was shelved permanently, a spark of early Who fire that burned out too fast. Which of these deep cuts do you wish had rocked the stage? Drop your favorite in the comments. Maybe we'll do a follow-up. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and check out our video on 10 Forgotten 70s bands that vanished without a trace. You won't believe number 4. Keep it loud.